how have you found people's motivation and ability to sort of embrace taking on communication skills training in your experience?
Oh, I think it's the same with being motivated to do anything. You have to see that there's a benefit. You've got to recognize you're going to gain in some way. And so whether that's making dinner, what's the
Yeah.
benefit? Well, you're going to get yourself fed, you're not going to be hungry anymore.
Yeah.
Whether that's studying for something, well, if you get this qualification, it could lead to the job you want, for example. And the same with communication. If you're going to improve your communication skills, you've got to think to yourself, or maybe you already know that what the benefits would be for you. So it's actually improved relationships with other people, a better understanding of other people, that they would understand you better, your wants and needs, and that just your relationships will be a lot smoother and a lot easier. So if that's what you would like to gain, that's the benefit, then that's your motivation. So yeah, I always, but if you can't see that you're going to gain, then why would you bother? I totally get that. It's the same with anything, and that's the same when for all of us, when maybe a friend says, "Oh, you ought to do this, or you should do that, or that would be really good for you," and you can genuinely say, "I'm not interested." Yeah, but you'd be. Yeah, I might be really good at it.
Yeah.
I can't see that I'd benefit or gain from it. It's just of no interest.
Mm.
And that's valid. Yeah. If you're not bothered about getting on better with people, improving relationships, fair enough. Maybe you don't have anything to gain or improve from that. But if you can see a gain and a benefit, then yeah, you're probably already motivated to do that.
Mhm. Brilliant. So I'm coming on to my next favourite topic, because I hear a lot of people have issues with this or experience of this. And when I reflect back to when I was in practice, it was a common thing to say, oh, such and such can be a difficult client, or such and such is a difficult person. You've written a very successful and popular book, I know, on difficult people.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about the background to starting that book, and also how you help explain through the book and through your courses, how you explain to people, why does this arise, and what can people do about it?
Yeah, so that came about, the idea for the book came about because in my teaching workshops, classes on being assertive and confidence building, a huge amount of people would actually see the other person as the problem. So they'd come with an approach of they're the problem, my mother-in-law, my boss, my colleague, this next door neighbor, they're the problem. So what I need is some ideas of how to sort them out. So they saw the other person
Yeah.
as the problem, which actually what happens when you see the other person as the problem, you see them as having all the power.
Yeah.
And that completely disempowers you, because what you're looking for is, if you're looking for ways to make them change, that's really difficult, if not impossible. But if you can change your approach, so you change yourself,
Mm.
that's much more powerful. And you've got the ability to do that. You've got all the control in the world over yourself. You've got no control over other people. So I remember saying to my editor, I've got an idea for another book based on the experience I've just told you about how other people see other people as a problem. And so I explained it to him, and I said, and so it could be called How to Deal with Difficult People. And I always remember he said, yeah, I like that idea. He said, of course, we wouldn't call it that. And I went, no, we would. I said, this makes me sound really quite arsey and bolshy. I said, otherwise, I'm not writing it. I said, I really believe that the power in this book is the title.
Yeah. for
how
sure.
to deal with difficult people. I said, and in fact, when I've told friends that I'm thinking this would make a good book, every single one of them has said, "Oh, I'll buy that. Oh, definitely. My
Yeah,
mother-in-law, what a cow!" Or or my boss,
yeah,
he needs to know. And so I said, so just the idea resonates with people. So
totally.
yeah, so he commissioned it, and I wrote it, and it did really well. In fact, the second edition has just come out. Yeah, that came out last week, actually. How to Deal with Difficult People, second edition. So it's got a bit of extra ideas and information, and yes, a bit more updated.